This is the injury report presented by NYU Langone Health. The Rangers are going to be without Igor Shesterkin for some time, and you guys know pro hockey doesn't disclose the exact injuries of the players, but you all saw the video of the hit he took. Absolutely nasty. So in today's injury report, we're talking with Dr. Joseph Bosco, Vice Chair of Orthopedic Surgery over at NYU Langone, to try and figure out what could be going on with Igor. Doc, appreciate you hopping on. Rangers get hit with the injury bug again. Adam Fox goes on LTIR. But let's stick with Igor, because you could see he was in extreme pain, had to be helped off the ice, and he was evaluated for a lower body injury in that collision. The team isn't giving specifics, but let's take a look at this hit. And then after this video, can you kind of sort of speculate on what could have happened? Here's the play.
Igor Shesterkin helped down the tunnel to the Ranger locker room.
Yeah, favoring the left side. Now we've got a good aerial view here of Shesterkin going back into the net. Peterka is the guy that drives the net. Here's the look, goes off the right foot, and then there's a twist to the left side. There doesn't seem to be anything anchored anywhere.
All right, Doc, you saw it. What could have happened to Igor on there? Because I don't know. Like,
let's look at it. First of all, great to be with you again.
Thank you.
Second of all, it's not much of a hit. You know, hockey is a contact collision sport. It's not much of a hit. It's almost like a non-contact injury. I know they don't like to have the players in the crease, right, to protect the goalies, but it's not like it was a bad hit. I think it was a non-contact twisting injury to his left knee. When I first saw the video, I thought, was it the right knee? Then I saw him skating off. He wasn't putting any pressure on the left. But it certainly was a non-contact injury to the left knee. And as you said, hockey is a sport unto itself. It's they're very mysterious about their injuries. They have two types of injuries. They have upper body injury and lower body injury. So this would be a lower body injury, but you could all see that it's to his left knee. What happened? Who knows? But I think it was more of a twisting injury to his knee. I know they're getting MRIs today. They'll have a better idea, but it does look like, from the amount of pain he was in, he's going to miss a substantial amount of time. This is not soccer where they, fake injuries on the ground to get a yellow card. I think this is the real deal for this guy, unfortunately.
So are you thinking that he could miss, a significant amount of time? And do you think that Rangers fans should be overly concerned with that? Like, could he be 100% healthy? How long could he be out? Because as you know, they're 3 points out of the wild card spot. And I know we still got time for the playoffs, but the Rangers need to get it going soon. And this guy's the best player on the team.
Well, he certainly is the best player. He's the heart and soul of their team. I mean, their backup goalie, Quick, is pretty good. I mean, he's I think he must be about 40 now, but I think he's going to miss a decent amount of time. But, you just don't know with these injuries. A lot has to do with how fast he recovers. But it didn't look bad, the injury, but seeing him hobble off the field didn't look so good. So a lot of times these innocuous-looking injuries can have major structural repercussions with these guys. You can do a non-contact twisting injury and be out for months. So we'll have to see what happens. But I never tell fans not to be, quote, overly concerned. They should be concerned. I'm concerned.
Does the fact that he plays hockey and has to come back and be on the ice, does that differ when it comes to maybe treatment or the timeline and where he could be at, as opposed to, like you said, a soccer player that plays on grass, football player that plays on turf? Is there a difference from like a court and the actual like hockey ice?
I think there is, especially goalies, because goalies are always, they get in that butterfly position. There's a lot of stress on their knees and their hips. They're constantly, putting their knees and hips in bad positions. So if this guy has any problem with his knee or his hip, but I think it's probably his knee, then it's going to be very difficult for him to play goalie. And by the way, what I tell folks is that 90% of Igor Shesterkin is probably not as good as the goalie they have as his backup. So it's not just that they got a pretty good goalie as a backup too. So if he's 80%, he's not going to be in there, because 80% of him, their backup's probably better than that. So that's a decision a team will make. But you got to be in pretty good shape to get out there, frankly, and play effectively as a goalie.
All right, $1 million question here because you guys are the best over at NYU.
Well, I'm the $1 million guy, so I'm ready.
There we go. And you guys are at NYU Langone. You're absolutely terrific. So if you had a patient that came in to talk to you, they played, let's say, rec hockey, they suffered a similar collision or injury like Igor, what would you suggest to your patient?
Well, you look at that. Those of us that take care of professional athletes and teams, still 95% of our patients are rec league guys and women, right? They're out there just trying to stay in shape. So we do this every day. So the answer is ice, elevate, get an MRI as soon as possible, and come in to see us so we can take a look at it.
There we go.
And hopefully my patient has a job where they can work when they're sitting down, because I take care of a lot of folks that are cops and firemen and carpenters and manual laborers. They get injured on a softball league, they could be 3 months out of work, and that's a big deal to these poor folks. So we take it very seriously, even if you're not a professional athlete.
$1 million answer from the $1 million man. Doc, thanks for hopping on with us.